Greetings and welcome to the Inner Manage channel. My name is Dr. Nana Gyesie, transformational coach here where we help folks transform, heal, and optimize their lives. Today we're taking a deep, unapologetic deep dive into the minds of narcissists, particularly to examine the tactics they use and understand the reasons behind these behaviors. This isn't just about identifying manipulation, it's about identifying and understanding the psychology and intention behind each move. As an empath or someone close to an empath, you've probably felt overwhelmed, disoriented, or even doubted your own reality in the presence of a narcissist. But once we break down these tactics, what they are, why they are used, or what they are designed to achieve, you start to see things in a new light. So let's start with the first tactic, which is charm and idealization. So this is where love bombing starts. With love bombing, it's one of the most intoxicating tactics that narcissists use. Love bombing is when the narcissist overwhelms their target with attention, affection, and compliments. And it feels like a whirlwind romance or an instant best friend connection in the beginning. And remember that narcissists are driven by a desire to control, empaths to connect. So this really gets the empath, who's driven by the desire to connect. And empaths with their deep sensitivity and openness to connection are especially susceptible here. So the purpose behind love bombing is to create dependency. By creating an emotional high, they can make the empath feel special, adored, and even unique, but only in a way that keeps them coming back for more. And the hidden agenda is to build this emotional attachment quickly so the empath is hooked and overlooks the red flags. So studies in personality and social psychology bulletins suggest that the attachment created during these intense romantic phases, particularly in romantic relationships, can distort reality, and empaths are feeling left craving the high that they once felt, even after the narcissist's behavior changes. So you realize that love bombing is all about control. The narcissist's goal isn't to form a genuine connection, it's to ensure that they have a secure place in the empath's life so they can manipulate and exploit it later. And empaths with their natural high trust often don't realize that they're being controlled until it's way too late. The second tactic we want to unpack here is mirroring. So also in the idealization state, the narcissist really studies you, your interests, your beliefs, and even mannerisms, and reflects them back. And this creates an illusion of sameness. And the purpose of mirroring is to make the empath feel like they found someone who truly gets them, my soulmate. And the hidden agenda behind mirroring is narcissists gain the empath's trust and reduce their natural defenses. Because we like people who are like us, and so that's what they do incredibly. And there's enough research, for example, in the Social, Cognitive, and Affective Neuroscience Journal that shows that people are more trusting of those who reflect similar interests and emotions. So empaths who value authentic connection are often taken off guard by this tactic. Now remember, when empaths see themselves as the narcissist, they feel an instant magical connection. But remember, the narcissist isn't about showing you themselves, they're showing you you. And it's like falling in love with your own reflection. This is how incredible it is. So it brings us to the next strategy that they use very effectively, which is future faking. So in here, the narcissist preys on the empath's desire for stability and a meaningful future. And the narcissist paints vivid pictures of the life you share, plans for vacations, marriage, or even a lifelong friendship. And the purpose for this is to keep you invested in the relationship, creating an emotional investment in a non-existent future. And the hidden agenda behind this is the narcissists don't intend to follow through with future faking. They simply want the empath to remain emotionally engaged, right? So you know that there's evidence that people with higher levels of empathy have a heightened response to shared future plans as it activates their desire for meaningful, stable connections. This is how genius these narcissists are, of all kinds. So for empaths, future faking is devastating, very devastating, because they are deeply invested in this imaginary future. When the narcissist never delivers, it leaves the empath feeling unfulfilled and questioning what went wrong. Excuse me. So it's very key to be aware of these tactics, which brings us to the next, which is manipulation and gaslighting. So gaslighting is one of the most psychologically damaging tactics used by the narcissist. The narcissist will deny, distort, or even twist reality to make the empath doubt their own memories and perception. And the purpose for this is to destabilize the empath's sense of reality, making them reliant on the narcissist for truth. And the hidden agenda behind this is to increase control by creating self-doubt in the empath. And certainly sustained gaslighting can lead to long-term anxiety, depression, even a lowered sense of self-worth. So gaslighting and manipulation are very insidious and unfortunate tactics. But for the empath, gaslighting is so traumatic because it makes them question their reality as an empath. And I've been there. And the real goal behind this is to disarm so they can control the narrative and keep you, the empath, dependent on them. They also use triangulation, and triangulation involves bringing in a third party into the relationship, whether that's a friend, an ex, or even an imaginary figure. And by comparing the empath to others, the narcissist subtly undermines the confidence of the empath. See what they wore, and they were like this, and so forth. And the purpose for this is to incite insecurity, simply, and jealousy, and make the empath feel inadequate. It's really dastardly the way they do this. And the hidden agenda behind this is to make sure the empath continues to work hard for the narcissist's approval. The approval of a person who doesn't even know who they are. But this is what they do. So empaths are often respond by overgiving to this triangulation, hoping to win back the narcissist's favor. And the narcissist is aware of this dynamic, and they use it to increase their power in the relationship. Another tactic is the use of projection. So projection is when the narcissist accuses the empath of the very actions or flaws that they themselves possess. They might call the empath selfish or accuse you of cheating or manipulative, even though these traits are actually present themselves. In other words, anytime the narcissist blames you or accuses you of something, it's an indirect confession. It's something that they actually are doing. And why do they do this? To deflect accountability and to put blame on the empath and avoid self-reflection. And the evidence around this is that projection is a psychological defense mechanism, often used by those with narcissistic traits to avoid vulnerability. So empaths with their high levels of self-reflection often internalize these accusations. Maybe there's something wrong with me. Why did I do that? And this tactic keeps empaths on the defensive, constantly working to fix themselves rather than recognizing the true source of the problem. So when this all happens, this idealization state, you get to the stage of discard. And here are some of the tactics for discard and manipulative exits. So the silent treatment. If you haven't woken up and discarded the narcissist, and this is what's likely going to happen, so during the discard phase, the narcissist often uses the silent treatment. And this is where they completely withdraw communication, leaving the empath in emotional limbo. And the purpose for this is to punish and regain control, thereby creating anxiety in the empath. And the real reason behind this is to keep the empath waiting and craving attention, reinforcing the narcissist's power. So there's enough evidence that shows that silent treatments induce emotional stress. This is in interpersonal relationships quarterly. And as individuals naturally seek to restore connection, they get deeper into this emotional distress. So for empaths, this kind of silent treatment feels unbearable because empaths thrive on communication and resolution. And the narcissist knows this and uses it to control the empath's emotions from a distance. And then this strategy is one of the most devious strategies, which is a smear campaign. So when the relationship ends, whether you ended it or they ended it, the narcissist often will initiate a smear campaign. And what they do is twist narratives, spread misinformation to others in an effort to damage the reputation of the empath. And the purpose for this is to isolate the empath, ensuring they lose support and credibility, and to prevent the empath from being believed if they share the truth. So these smear campaigns are a form of social control, allowing the narcissist to rewrite the relationship history to their advantage. And for empaths, this is one of the most painful tactics to endure, as it not only affects self-worth, but can leave empaths feeling very isolated if they couldn't get a sense of these things happening. And the narcissist aims to create an alternate narrative where they are the victim, not you, silencing the empath in the process. So understanding these tactics can be overwhelming, which is why it's important to work with a coach like myself who's been through it and has the necessary certifications, or some other mental health professional who can guide you through this. And remember that knowledge is power. By recognizing these patterns, you empower yourself to protect your peace and your identity, because narcissists rely on confusion, isolation, and self-doubt. If this is helpful to you, type transform in the comment section or book a free session at my website, innermileage.com. And just remember, there's absolutely no one like you. Keep holding your peace.